I think we might start the presentation. So let me just tell you a little bit about the certificate of participation and the webinar handout that you receive. Okay, so Raffaele, email that again. I'll make sure you get one. Okay, and I'll make sure it comes out to you as soon as possible. Okay, for last time, just write to me and tell me which one you're missing. Okay, you said the last one, I think. Okay. Anyway, at that said, I'll hand over to Dahlia, who's planned this webinar. Probably recognise her from previous ones, and let's go.
All right, good evening, everybody. So today we're going to be exploring the different ways you can be using short films in your classes. So with introduction, it's obvious that today we live in an age in which we're constantly connected. These technological advances have made it easier for teachers to look for and use interesting materials. Short films are produced more often, uploaded, and shared easily. And this is one of the reasons why they are crucial to a classroom. Sites such as YouTube and Vimeo, which are the gift that keeps giving, allow teachers to use them for free, and above all, they don't take up unnecessary time, unlike a full feature film.
I might just suggest that maybe I shouldn't say this, but there are things that you can add to your browser that will stop it showing ads. Okay, so if you don't like watching the ads before the videos, if you go to things like YouTube ad blocker, okay, I probably shouldn't say that, but it does mean that it doesn't interrupt them. Okay,
it's true. In classrooms, short films can be used as a discussion starter, support for vocabulary building, or as a springboard to study broader subjects. Starting a class with a short film, a documentary, or even a news clip gives students the opportunity to work on all their skills and engage more willingly.
Yeah, I think the amount of content there is out there, there's a film, a short film, a short documentary, or we'll look at the types in a moment to suit whatever topic you're doing. Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, people who follow the webinars know that usually we have a few embedded videos, and even about if we're talking about Thanksgiving, as we did in the autumn one, okay, or anything else. Okay, there's always easy to find great content there.
It's true, yeah. So, have you ever used short films in your lessons? So let us know.
Tell us in the chat. Let us know what short films we're talking about. We're talking about things probably, shorter than a feature film, maybe.
Definitely.
Maximum. What would you say, Dahlia?
Maximum 25 minutes is like a really long short film. The best ones are usually around 10 minutes, 30, 15 minutes max.
I think we were talking about this before, Dahlia, and we said, that I think, it doesn't count as a waste of time if you're doing, 10, 15 minutes in a, whatever it is, a 50-minute, 1-hour class, as long as you've got activities that can follow on from it. I think reduces their time.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Anyway, as always, we have some objectives. Okay, so by the end of this session, we hope that you, the teachers, will be better able to exploit a variety of short films as a learning tool. Okay, prepare activities to improve all language skills, including short films. And we are looking at incorporating some short films into CLIL or civics classes. So if you're teaching these sort of English classes, they're going to be useful too.
True. All right, so we're going to start by looking at different types of short film. We've got the live action short film. So it's a film that's a bit shorter. They're made with live actors. They're usually improvised, or there is a script that's loosely followed. They love to improvise in these things, so it's really obvious most of the time. And a lot of the major actors that we all love nowadays have all started doing short films. So it's a very important way to become a huge actor. This is where your talents are shown.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of directors, famous directors, their short films often you can find on YouTube. And things like that.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese is one of them. He loved short films, still does. Yeah. All right, next one is animated short films. Everybody loves them, right? They can be 2D, computer D, stop motion, there's a variety. They can be easier to make, so because sometimes it only takes a single artist to make one. Pixar shorts are a good example of animated short films, and there are plenty on YouTube. Plenty.
Yeah, great.
Not only Pixar, but they are the main players in the animated world for now. And the next one is a documentary short film. It's informative and is the only format that doesn't require a full feature because it always varies in length. So the picture, Our Planet, it shows that it's one of it's a really well used one. It gives you a lot of information about different things to talk about. And adverts and news clips. So even though they're not officially short film, they can be used in an English classroom. They're usually short in length and they are precise in the language they use. Also, if you use an advert that's based for Christmas, that's recently coming up, they're very funny. The message is always the same, family, etc. But the way it's related, it's always very interesting.
Yeah. What's the one that they always, the English Christmas advert that's always
M&S, Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
And Coca-Cola as well. Coca-Cola do amazing ones that you can use in classes. A short is, as we were saying, a short is between 5 and 25 minutes. They're usually long enough to cover the story that's being told. And so having a focus is really important. All of these types of short films can be used in the classroom.
Yeah, I think that sort of time means that the students aren't going to get too distracted. We hope anyway. Okay?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So mythologies, this is how we can use our short films in class. Using videos in a classroom is very motivating and effective. It brings the classroom alive, so it makes them more interesting. There are a large number of short films, and a lot of these short films are silent. There aren't many that have a lot of dialogue in them, which is very useful for students.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Sorry.
That's all right. This makes them ideal for teaching students studying English as a second language. Using these 12, so as you can see in the picture, using these 12 mythologies, teachers can adapt all forms of short films. For example, we've got role plays. Students can write a script or even create a comic for a silent video, which is an interesting way for students who struggle with writing. They can usually communicate with images, and that makes it just a little more easier with working with the teacher as well.
This sort of goes back to what Luca was looking at a few weeks ago in scripts, using scripts. Okay.
Yeah. There is remix. So this is where students get to show off their video production or editing skills. And it's one thing maybe us teachers are guilty of, and that we underestimate their skills a little, where if they're shown a silent video, they can actually add the sound versions themselves. So they can simply speak over, they can read over their comics or their scripts, but they can even do simple things like opening a door, creating, pow, wow. So it becomes a little bit more, they can have a little bit of fun with it.
It reminds me of some comedy shows where they used to take an old TV show from the 70s or something, and they turn the volume down and dub it with ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Really funny. They change the plot effectively.
Exactly that, yeah. So we have caption writing. Here they write the captions in, do a voiceover or do a storyboard and sketch in the scenes. So after watching, they're going to be retelling. It's like a way of summarizing the story they've seen. But again, instead of words, you can simply create a storyboard which has all the main events that are happening in the little story.
This ties in with our music, using music in the classroom where we actually storyboarded a music video where we looked at one existing and then we could actually, make up a music video. So sort of, in the end, a lot of music videos work in the same way as a short film, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, definitely. Back door. So you choose a few students, all right, and you have them turn their backs while other students need to describe the events. Swap them around, and at the end, they all watch the ending. So what happens is you show a scene, you pause it, and the student who's not watching is told that, what's going on, and they have to try to understand what's happening. And at the end, they get to see how well the story was retold. So it's a really good speaking activity.
Yeah, right. Sort of describing that it's a great activity to get people speaking, using present continuous, things like this. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. And this takes us to our first short film, Octopodie. All right, so this is a really well-known short film. It's loved out there, especially on YouTube. It's a French animated short film. There is no dialogues. This is a great example of a silent short film. Length, perfect at 2.5 minutes, but it can easily be, it can be used for a 60-minute class. It's just full of vocabulary and a perfect example of how to use short film efficiently in class. All right, so first we introduce the story to your students by giving a short description of the story. It is two love-struck octopuses, one orange and one purple, pink, depending. They live in an aquarium tank in a town by the sea. One day they are separated, and when the purple octopus is taken out of the aquarium and sold to a seafood restaurant delivery van driver, the orange octopus is determined to save his lover from her fate and goes on a mad chase. And it literally is that. It is mad and it's a comedy. It's really, really fun to watch. So the objective of watching this short film is to revise the simple past, the past continuous, and the use of when and while, which can be challenging for students at times, to describe what happens in each clip.
Yeah, I think this could be really useful. I mean, one of the activities in one of the tasks in B1 and B2 and even C1 and C2 exams, Cambridge exams, is describing a picture, but why not make it even more interesting with describing a video? Okay?
Exactly, yeah.
We will have a look at this since it's only short, so let's get this started. Okay? If I can start it. Cool. Here we go. Sorry. Can you hear that?
A little bit. No, can't hear it. Maybe it's me.
Is there no audio?
No, you can hear it now.
Okay, anyway, I think it's silent anyway. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What did you let us know in the chat what you thought of the film?
Right, so the YouTube link for this activity has been divided into clips. So we watched it as a long 2-minute piece, but the actual activity stops continuously, and it gives students prompts, the verbs to use so they can describe each clip. There are clear instructions and an example of how to write the sentences describing each clip in the worksheet for this exercise. You can pause, actually it's advised to pause each clip a little longer because it is quite, as you've seen, it's quite a fast-paced short film. And also they can get to check if the students know the meaning of each verb and its past form as well. It will start slow, especially with the students. They will need some time to familiarize themselves with the activity and the video. But once they understand what is happening, how to execute the activity, it becomes a lot easier. It is interesting, actually, how invested students become in the story once they're able to communicate their interpretation.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, so that handout, just to let you know, the handout is, or the worksheet is in the handout. Okay. Alessandra's asked how we can divide the clip in parts. It's actually when you see the link that I put in the handout, okay, is actually a link. You'll see the website actually has it divided, so it plays a certain part. Okay, it's a way you don't need to do it; it does it automatically. Okay,
Exactly.
so it follows a certain part. So while if you have to do it for other videos, then obviously you might just need to write down the moment at which you pause. But for this one, it is actually connected to this activity, so don't worry.
All right, so the next one is called Snack Attack. And this is a short video that has a meaning behind it. So stereotypes. We can start by discussing in class. We put up the word stereotypes on the board and students will try to work out what it means.
Just to
go ahead. Sorry.
Roberta asked me to paste the link in the chat. I can't do it right now because I'm sharing my screen, but when you receive the handout, you will receive the links for the videos. So don't worry about that. You will get all of the links and things like this. Okay.
So we get students to explain what the word means, a fixed idea that many people have of a particular type of person, but which is often not true in reality. Ask for examples, such as, no, it's all right. Teenagers are irresponsible, boys don't cry, girls aren't good at sports, and they can give you many examples themselves. We can also present students with 2 photos. In this case, we have an old lady and a man with a mohawk. And we can ask students, what adjectives would they use to describe them both?
Let us know in the chat if you have adjectives that you would describe the lady or the man. Okay, or maybe you can put an adjective in there and we can try to guess which one you're referring to. I think it should be pretty easy, I would imagine.
Introduce the expression, don't judge a book by its cover, basically, which means you shouldn't judge someone based only on what you see on the outside. So in this case, especially with the guy with the mohawk, what kind of person do you think he is? It's quite easy to misjudge. And then we explain, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, and then we explain the synopsis of the short film, and they can watch it until 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Then you ask the students to predict what happens next. What do you think will happen? Yeah,
so what we'll do, we're going to, on the next screen, play this this short film, and we'll pause it at 3:16. So keep in mind what you think is going to happen, okay? If you've seen it before, don't spoil it for other people.
Please don't,
okay?
yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, feel free to write something in the chat, and we might talk about it a little bit before we watch the last. I think it's a little bit about a minute after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So here we have the synopsis, which is basically an old lady sits on a bench in the train station when suddenly the boy sitting next to her starts eating her biscuits. It's short. Yeah, it's a short 5-minute film with a message.
Okay, so let's go. Start this. If I can.
Not yet.
Wait, what's happening? Okay, here we go, sorry.